All right, game time decisions. We are excited to be here on a Friday night. It is Kevin Walsh and it is Gabriel Morency ready to make it happen here on SportsGrid. I did just, quote tweet our stream, letting people know we'll have a little announcement about the show tonight. It's a good thing. We're good. We're here. We're making it happen. We're letting people kind of, react to everything, Gabe, but we've got some news for the people that we're going to make happen.
We're ready to rock this evening. Listen, we're ready to rock any time of the day, but we got a huge weekend of games, races, and everything else in between coming up. For motorsports fans, absolutely massive weekend this weekend. Indy 500, Charlotte in NASCAR, and Formula One in the center of the sports universe right now, Kevin Walsh. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. As Formula One is in Montreal, and the Canadians take game one over the Carolina Hurricanes 6-2. I don't know what's going on in Montreal, but they got something special cooking right now, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they, sometimes a bet goes so well, you really shouldn't take any credit for it. That's how I felt about the first period over in Montreal, Carolina, which hit 1 minute into the hockey game. I was like, listen, I didn't know that much. I just thought, listen, these guys might fly around a little bit. Or they gave 5 goals in that opening period. I know there were at least 4. That is but we've talked about it now, Gabe, right? These big favorites. Now we've got Carolina, Colorado, Oklahoma City. I mean, the Knicks would have been right in that boat, all getting clipped in that opening game.
If not for a Knick 22-point comeback, the biggest comeback in franchise history, the rest would have caught up to these teams. And I'll tell you what, too, what you know is pretty wild, actually, in the National Hockey League is the last 8 times in the playoffs that a team won a series in 7 games and played a team that was coming off the sweep, the team that won in 7 games has won the series against the team coming off a sweep 7 of the last 8 times. And if you want another number, you really want to dig in, just something to think about for tomorrow. And this is wild, Kevin. The Carolina Hurricanes are now 1-17 in their last 18 conference finals games. Like, they've been really good in past years. They hit the wall. They get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they get swept by the Panthers or by Lightning or something in overtime or whatever, but they can't win. They're literally 1-17 in conference finals games, but they were off for 12 days. 12 days. So let's reset this thing. You talked about the Oklahoma City Thunder were cold. The Colorado Avalanche talked about being flat early in their hockey game. They're in a must-win situation. Cleveland Cavaliers, well, that's another story, Kevin. I was thinking about the word that we were looking for, flaky. I think that's a sort of a word. Gutless. That's another one. The words I could bring up,
get a little unkinder as the game plays out. As we go on.
Donovan Mitchell, literally quits. When he stops trying, he stops trying. He does not. He just stands in the corner. He wants no part of the game, offensively or defensively. We barely got to 25 last night because he hit a late free throw, but it was a sweat job. But to put in context, I know Knicks fans are going crazy, and rightfully so. It looks like the Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. So I was just looking at the prices because people are talking about, wow, this is getting crazy in Montreal right now. The cheapest ticket right now on StubHub to get into Game 1 of the NBA Finals in New York is $4,000. So that's $4,000 to sit in the upper level of MSG. The first game of the Stanley Cup Finals, if the Canadians play, but the tickets are already out there, $4,600.
Come on.
$4,600, Kevin, to get in. That's to get in the building. Lower bowl right now, if this is it, they haven't won yet, but StubHub has the tickets up for sale. Lower bowl for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals in Montreal, $16,000 a ticket.
Yeah. Wow. That is, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know. Good for them. Is that a
I
win game?
could buy
really.
I could buy a hockey team in like the Swiss B League for this price. Let alone go to a hockey game. I'll be a team owner.
I gotta
Kevin.
tell you, you would.
I'd rather buy a horse for this. I'll buy a horse.
No, I don't think you need to get back in the horse racing, but I think a Swiss League hockey team would suit you pretty well. You know what I mean? I think that would suit you pretty well. You would follow the league, you'd bet it. You know what I mean? Like, assuming I don't know. I guess you probably couldn't bet it if you own the league, but what they don't know doesn't hurt them, right?
I'd like to own a CFL team. That's more like sort of in like a realistic price range than owning the Buffalo Bills, but even that's a problem. I don't think even if I had the money, they would accept me. They would accept me.
Right.
As an owner in the league. Speaking of which, CFL preseason has begun when there's actually lines and games being played tonight. But with that being stated, I do like the UFL game tonight. And I don't know, I'm counting on you, Dr. Walsh, on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the big insiders, all right? Listen, the insider game is the biggest scam in the business. The insider game means you get the text first 30 seconds before the press release comes out. So you spoiling things and dropping the MVP. Ooh, I know what the MVP is going to be. Good for you. Ooh, bravo. It's like these clowns that like tweet out like the draft pick 30 seconds before, Kevin. Oh, wow. So you're standing right there and you see the guy like you saw the hand like, okay, oh, good for you. That's real reporting. Notice, though, when it comes to real reporting, they don't know anything. Thanks for the insight. Game time decision. We'll find out before the thanks, buddy. Great. So, in other words, you don't really know unless they tell you. Let's just call it out for what it is. You don't know unless they tell you. So, do you know, Kevin? Because Jalen Williams, a game time decision. Darren Fox, a game time decision. Dylan Harper's a game time decision. Not one of these so-called NBA insiders has anything. And I like what I say. Yeah. Sources tell me that he'll be a game time decision.
Yeah, it's like congrats, brother. Same here.
Yeah,
my source say the same exact thing.
This Coke can could tell me this. Yeah, Darren Fox, a game time decision. There it is.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think Jalen Williams is done for this series. I think Dylan Harper is out tonight. I think De'Aaron Fox plays. That's my read on the situation.
That's my gut.
I think. Yeah, and
you got to read between the lines, right? Kevin. And what I like today, one thing I saw, Darren Fox is doing everything possible. And that was sort of the thing. They are doing everything possible. This is one of these, Harper can't go. I believe what Chow said. Chow said immediately he's going to miss a couple of games. Right? I'll buy into that with Chow. And although I had a guest on my show, I had a guest last night on a podcast who told me I was at the game. He goes, listen, I was at the game right behind the Spurs bench. He goes, Harper didn't look that bad to me, just for the record. He goes, when he came back, but I said, you're different. Also a handicapper. Right? You're not a doctor.
Yeah.
He looked good to me.
True.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're a handicapper from Vegas. So he looked good.
Harper did try to run back out because he thought he had to shoot free throws, but I don't expect Harper to play. It's interesting, though, Gabe, right? But we all seem to think long series. I think it's I'm not saying that every game matters, but these teams don't seem worried. You know what I mean? Like if tonight was a game 7, I'd be like, Gabe, I don't know. I feel like they're all going to play about 12 minutes and get hurt. You know what I mean? But I don't think either one of these teams, Gabe, is down 2-1 panicked. Do you?
No, but that's when it gets real. Game 4 becomes big for the losing team.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt.
All right, let's just call it out for what it is. Like, it can get late early quickly, right? It can get late early quickly. And to me, like, the real key is Jalen Williams out, they were 39-10 without him, but that's normally when Chet Holmgren plays well. Chet Holmgren has not played well against the San Antonio Spurs ever. You could argue at his best flash in the last game, right? That little played well in the fourth quarter. I'll give him that. We'll see
that
tonight,
but
sticking
with me.
I like sticking with me. I like seeing Wembanyama this morning in a little sit-down one-on-one with Greg Popovich in the building today. Greg Pop at the morning practice.
Well, so, I don't know. Can Nick Collison get Chet Holmgren ready then?
Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day? Here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, you know, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Go over the summer where there's drastic changes and gas drops down to $3 a gallon, $2.50 a gallon in some states, and then you have some of the price markets go down. You ride that momentum is what Joe's talking about. So if you say right now, which party will win the U.S. House, and you think it's the Republicans currently trading at 20%, you take them now, and if good press comes, that turns into 25% and 30%, then you have the option to cash out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, we're going to cap these games, but I'm going to mention it a few times because I want everybody to know what's happening with game time decisions. It is going to, starting Tuesday, become in-game live. Myself and Gabe, we're live at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go until 9 p.m. Eastern. So, different start time by 2 hours, same hosts, same crew, breaking the games down. If there are some games that we want to give you picks that, you know, will obviously be on a little bit later, we'll tweet them out. Gabe always does. I'll make sure to do the same. It'll give us a little bit of time on air with some of the most important games. So a mini move here for game time decisions. We bring back in-game live, 8 p.m. Eastern, starting this Tuesday, Gabe, after the holiday weekend.
It'll give us a chance to look the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs going on for like the next month or so still. And they all start at 8 o'clock, like during the weeknight. So it'll give us an opportunity, basically. We'll give our best bets as these games get set to start. And then we'll be with you for the first hour leading in to as these games start. They really start at like 8:20-ish or so. And you know, as it goes on, the NBA is going to start to push it back. And
yeah,
in fact, I actually think the NBA Finals start at 9 Eastern, to be honest. But right now it's at 8. Right now it's at 8, nevertheless. But
rotating.
Whatever.
We'll figure this out.
Yeah, the games are at 8 right now, /8:15. But the Canadians-Carolina Hurricane game, for the record, tomorrow is at 7 o'clock Eastern in Carolina tomorrow. So yeah, just a little bit of a shakeup, but big game tonight, man, in the association, Kevin and V. You know, and a weird start time tonight. Speaking of, that's why I bring these start times up. Can't assume anything. 8:30 tonight.
Yeah,
8:30 start, not 8. 8:30.
It's for some reason bouncing between networks. The Wests are at 8:30, the Easts are at 8 o'clock. It is what it is. I don't necessarily know why. What I do know is you were talking about a guy, Gabe, who I'm about to go to the mattresses for and defend wholeheartedly in Chet Holmgren. I love Chet tonight. The most aggressive I've attacked a player prop so far in the conference finals. I think his 21.5 points and rebounds has been adjusted over aggressively. The last time Chet was playing playoff basketball, different team. I get it. Was against the Lakers. He was averaging 20 and 10 in that series. Chet Holmgren, when you look at the massive sample size of games that he has played without Jalen Williams this year, 45 games, he has gone over the 21.5 number in 32 of those basketball games. And one of the sneaky angles, and it's going to sound like a bit, and it's not, I think Hartenstein is in foul trouble all game. What Hartenstein did in game 2 was great for game 2. It will cost him major minutes in game 3. I wouldn't be surprised if he is 2 fouls deep 2 minutes into the basketball game. I think Chet has no choice, Gabe, but to be playing 35 minutes here tonight. I love the points and rebounds.
It's a big gut check game for him. I got to tell you what. So I like your commitment to this, and you have to do your own research when it comes to this type of stuff instead of waiting for the mainstream to tell you. So I'm digging around here right now, and shout out to KSAT's Mary Rominger, sports anchor and reporter, KTS News, San Antonio, Texas, posting live video, Kevin, right now, courtside. Dylan Harper looks pretty good.
Oh, come on. That's crazy.
He's taking shots, and I trust your eye. I'll tweet this to you here. Yeah. I have a good eye for this type of stuff where you could tell, like, exactly. Yeah, this is live. This is what we want to see. All right, this is as we speak. He's on the court. So just for the record, Kevin, this doesn't look like a guy, and the way he's dressed right now as well. Doesn't look like a guy that's like thrown a Hail Mary out here before. This looks like a guy that's kind of on the court to me, Kevin. I'm just saying,
okay.
Because otherwise it'd be him by himself, gingerly, like, he's even got a dude in his face trying to block the shot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This Mary's doing good work here, I got to tell you. But now, here's the thing, Mary. Can we find the Aaron Fox out there? Can we find the Aaron Fox out there, Mary?
Mary, I need a video. I'm gonna tweet it right now. Great job, Mary.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. I'm tweeting. Great job. How about De'Aaron?
There you go. Yep. Great job. By the way, game time decisions. We're giving you the reporting that you need here, okay? And as Gabe hunts down reporters to get us De'Aaron Fox updates, I'll tell you guys.
That's what you gotta do.
I wanna bet De'Aaron Fox tonight. This is gonna make it very difficult. Because all of a sudden, Gabe, like, is Fox the more injured player? Are we both wrong here?
Yeah.
And, like, he's coming off the bench, Fox? Oh, boy. I thought they needed Fox a little bit tonight, Gabe.
Yeah, but from what I got was basically that the entire staff is working with Fox to get him ready. Like, that was the impression I got. They were like, almost like everybody's doing everything possible to get Fox going. Like, he's like, so I'm thinking, all right, suck it up, get a shot, whatever it is. He's got a sprained ankle, bro. You can't play basketball with a sprained ankle.
I'm tired.
I think Fox, Harper, you're right. Like, you watch. Harper's going to be the one in, and Tony Finn was right, who was at the game, saying, no, he's going to play. You'll see.
It was Tony Finn?
yes. That's right. I was like, whatever, Tony. I was like,
You're burying
he said
the
he
lead.
looked fine. It caught me off guard, too. And I'm like, what are you doing courtside at these playoff games, Tony? What's going on?
What kind of college football season did Tony Finn have, good Lord? Sitting courtside at the Western Conference Finals.
He casually dropped it, too. He goes, I was there last night. I was right behind the bench.
Like, kidding me. I thought it was a Tony. Someone get Tony Finn on the horn. What is he doing?
Dr. Finn. He even told me. He goes, forget what Chow said. He looked good. That's what.
You can't alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win. And, you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget, who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too. And these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here, because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Oh. Game time decisions on a Friday night. Craig Mish joins us here, of course, host of Newswire Monday through Friday on SportsGrid. Pro Baseball Today will be live this weekend. Craig, a few different series getting off the ground here. I want to start with Garrett Cole returning. It's a big deal, right?
Yep.
The Cy Young winner, who is supposed to be one of the most dominant arms in the sport, and he gets the baseball in, relatively speaking, I know it's May. This is an important series for the Yankees. They're playing some of their worst baseball at the wrong time, going up against a Tampa team that they're looking up at.
Yeah, I think Tampa is better than the Yankees. But I think that, certainly anything can happen in a particular series. And the other, I think, thing that you got to look at is, Aaron Judge is not going to hit 70 home runs, but he may hit 60. And maybe this is just the month where he doesn't do a lot, Kevin, he's just not playing his best baseball right now. So maybe Cole doesn't have the support that he would maybe later in the season in June or July. The other part of this, too, is that I wouldn't expect Cole to pitch more than 5 or 6 innings. So, Kevin, I get it. I wouldn't look too much out of this. I just will think that as the season goes, I've now seen the 2 best baseball teams that I have play in person and even on TV. In the end, the Dodgers could certainly win the World Series, and I don't know what they're going to look like after the trade deadline. I can't state that enough. They've been notorious for Trey Turner and Max Scherzer and Manny Machado, and the list goes on and on. They keep getting guys, do the Dodgers, but I think the Braves and the Rays are the 2 best teams that I've seen play this season, and I saw the Yankees play the Marlins too. I think Rays, Braves are the best right now. That could change.
Yeah, tell me, Craig, specifically, though, on Tampa, what you saw that led you to that conclusion, because obviously they don't have all the, all-star that everybody knows on a daily basis.
So there's 2 things with Tampa that they do to you. The first is, as they say, it's like death by paper cuts. They have strategy sessions going into these games. This game we're going to pull the ball. This game we're going to try and hit it to right. This game we're going to bunt 1,000,000 times. That's how they play on offense. We're going to just throw a bunch of lefties at you, throw a bunch of righties at you. They also, with a lead, Kevin, after 5 or 6 innings, are throwing these, again, for another season, these no-name bullpen arms out that they all look so different. One guy throws 3/4. One guy, he just throws 2 pitches. It's a fastball and a changeup, but they look exactly the same. One guy's a complete side armor. One guy's a lefty that just holds the ball up in the air. They do so many different things to you that they're always keeping you off balance. It's like a fighter that you go against that you don't know what round you're going to get. Are they going to play defense? Is he going to be attacking you? They're so well developed and managed and coached that it's really fascinating to me how well they've been and the best baseball team in the last 20 years. The best record in baseball the last 20 years belongs to Tampa Bay. On Atlanta's side, it's really simple. They're going to club you, man. Like, they are going to hit, and Olsen's going to hit, and Acuna's going to hit. They don't even have Baldwin going right now. Michael Harris is hitting too. And they pitch well, and they also have a really good bullpen. But Kevin, I'm scared that LA is going to get Scooble, like that's, that, like something like that is just going to, make everybody mad again, and I think we could be headed down that road.
Yeah. I want to stick with the, other New York team then, Craig, because you get to now see, I don't know if it's for the first time, but the Mets with the Marlins here. What is interesting to me is at no point do I feel as if Miami's season is over, different expectations, right? They enter pretty much with the same record here, the Mets and the Marlins. I think in a different way, this series feels a little bit important.
I mean, the wind was taken out of the sails a little bit by the Marlins this week, like with them losing like they did to the Braves. I mean, my sails were taken out a little bit watching that series. Look, the Mets are playing better than the Marlins right now. I mean, that's unequivocal. There's nothing else to say. The Marlins have not played good baseball over the last few weeks. I think, toe to toe, the Marlins may have the better pitching and the better team. Honestly, they may, but they're just not playing like it right now. It'll be an interesting series to see because I think Miami has the distinct advantage Saturday. Their best pitcher is pitching when Max Meyer throws. Sunday will be a little bit unclear. I think the rotation just in general for the Mets is very unclear with Clay Holmes hurt. I believe Tobias Myers is starting tonight, but I do think Jonah Tong is coming up. I do think he may be even pitching tonight or tomorrow too. So this may be like an opener situation. I wouldn't say important. I kind of felt like yesterday's game, honestly, Kevin, for the Marlins was important. They had Sandy pitching. They lost the game. So now it's just kind of like, hey, let's for Miami's perspective, I think it's, hey, let's kind of avoid, dropping like 10 in a row, 9 in a row, 8 in a row at this point, getting back on track. Hopefully they do this weekend. I'll be on the pre and post game all weekend.
Yeah, make sure you can check out Craig there. Of course, you can check him out on the weekend with Pro Baseball Today and then Newswire right here on SportsGrid Monday through Friday. Craig, we appreciate it as always. We'll be right back here on Game Time Decisions.
Alienate your fan base. That's the problem. You got to show your fan base that you're still trying to win, and you want to sell tickets in the summertime. You don't want to go into mid-May and say, all right, we're 15 games out, but it's still only early May. No, fans will stay away. So you don't have the luxury anymore of just waiting. So someone's got to get fired. One of these teams is going to fire someone by the end of the month.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
I thought the Jets would have pulled the Ty Simpson move. I was desperately worried that was what they were going to do. But instead, they ended up getting it right with Bailey. And so did, by the way, the prediction markets, because we saw all that money come in for Bailey. It's kind of funny because all it is, and then you forget. Who did Arizona go with? I mean, Arizona went with a running back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing, as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too, and these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It's a 7-game sprint with a whole lot of volatility, right? You don't want the best team, so to speak, Donnie. You want the team that has a favorable group stage, weaker knockout path, and has some penalty variance coming their way here. Because this is all about the path to the final, Donnie. It's not about the best team, because the best team can get knocked out.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on Sport.
All right, guys, let's make it happen here Friday night on SportsGrid. Let's pop over to your Major League Baseball board with a couple of interesting spots out there. 6:40 is this Phillies-Guardians game. Chris Sanchez gets the baseball, who's having a pretty quiet Cy Young campaign, though I guess it's only quiet because his name's not Paul Skeens, not Shohei Ohtani, not Jacob Mizorowski. He's one of the top choices, if not actually the favorite, to win the award.
Skeens just get lit up, Kevin?
I think two starts ago, Gabe?
Was it 2? Okay, my bad. Was it 2? I'm just saying.
Somewhat recently, the Cardinals took him. Yeah, it was his last start.
Like
it was his last start.
He gave up more runs than that start. He also had that bad first start too. I'm just saying, like, yeah, he's not on Ohtani's level this year.
He has 10 starts, Gabe. He's given up 13 earned runs in 7 of them. And in the other 7, he's given up 3 earned runs. So
he's way overhyped.
No,
I know he's had a couple of bad starts. That's it.
But he's still pitching game to a 2.62, right? So, but it's loud. I know, but when he gets to it, it's loud.
Just to put in context, Shohei Ohtani's ERA is 0.73, the 6th lowest ERA through 8 starts since 1920.
Can I tell you something, though, Gabe, with Ohtani?
Throwing it out there.
I know how this is going to get me labeled, and that's fine. I actually don't see how Shohei can truly compete for the Cy Young because of the innings gap he's going to be at. He doesn't. The Dodgers have so many arms. He doesn't pitch once every 5 days. He pitches once a week. Like, he doesn't qualify for the ERA leaderboard, Gabe. And I don't know if he's going to when the season's all said and done.
He will when it's all said and done.
He's almost 20 innings behind these guys, Gabe.
Not to mention, too, like, just from a badass perspective, the dude hit a home run in the first pitch of the game, and then he struck out the side.
Mm-hmm. No, listen, again, he is, Gabe, he's going to win another MVP.
Just to put in context. Yeah, you know what, though? I think they're going to want to give him the Cy Young, personally. Right? It's the media, right? So
I think they'd be willing to. I don't think they can give it to someone if they don't qualify for the ERA leaderboard.
I think he will. He's, he pitches 6 innings. I mean, he racks up 6 innings to start. Before it was 5, if you notice, they're sort of loosening it up a little bit right now. For me, I'm just glad to see that he's, he was slumping early. He was clearly, something was up. You know what I mean? Was it, and I don't know if it was fatigued or, I think it might have been mental fatigue because the dude sleeps like 16 hours a day, right? That's all he does is sleep. Most of the Japanese guys sleep all the time, right? But he's like really over the top. Like he literally sleeps like 16 hours a day. I'm not exaggerating. All he does is sleep. Right? And it's funny. Kikuchi, the pitcher, when he was on the Blue Jays 2 years ago, he was asked after a good start, whatever, and he goes, I was kind of tired today. He goes, I didn't sleep as much as I normally do. He goes, I only slept 10 hours.
That's
and
crazy.
People in the media said, really? What do you normally sleep? He goes, I don't know, 14, 15. And they're like, you sleep 14, 15 before a start? He goes, no, every day. And then he brought it up. He goes, Shohei Ohtani sleeps a lot more than I do. And he started laughing. He basically said Shohei Ohtani, like, the only time he's awake is at the park. He goes, Shohei Ohtani sleeps. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating, Kevin. Look it up. Like, I'll just randomly, just for fun right now, you give the picks for the 640 games here, but like, I'll tell you right now, how many hours does Shohei sleep a day? It's like 14 type thing.
Yeah. Look, for me on the baseball board tonight, I really like the Mariners on the money line. Logan Gilbert's in a really good spot here. Much better pitcher than Noah Cameron. I am a little hesitant at fading the Royals after they just got swept at home with another home game, but I think the number's too good on Seattle, so I'll play them here. And then there are a couple of guys that really jump off the page if you're betting a hit-run RBI tonight. Jose Ramirez against Sanchez. Judge is due. But I also really like Nick Kurtz tonight for the Athletics. And one other thing, and I know Gabe's going to get to Ohtani, but Garrett Cole's back tonight. First time this season. One of the, when healthy, best pitchers in baseball. And not a moment too soon, Gabe, before a series with the Tampa Bay Rays where the Yankees really need to make up some ground here because they really can't afford to lose ground on this Tampa Bay team with a 3-game set in the Bronx.
It's amazing. This, like I said, it can get late early at times in Major League Baseball, especially with this Tampa Bay team just racking up the wins like they are. Speaking of, so for the record, Ohtani sleeps 10 to 12 hours a day with a 2-hour nap. So basically, that's during the season. So he sleeps as much as he can. Like he's saying he can sleep as much as he, you know what I mean? It's half the day. He goes, I sleep half the day. You got to consider, though, right? The game's like 3, he's at the ballpark for 5 hours, hour bus ride to the stadium, back to the hotel. You know what I mean? So, long story short, all he does is
at
sleep.
the ballpark, right? Like a lot of those guys, Gabe, probably find
some
time to get a little bit of rest in.
They turn the lights off. They shut it down. I was fascinated by that. Great Michael Irvin used to Michael Irvin said that he used to take a 10-minute sort of power nap before big games and stuff. And it would calm him down and relax him. And he fell asleep before the Super Bowl. They killed Buffalo. So I know the story. I wish you stayed asleep. Yeah. They actually have to wake him up. They're like, dude, we're going out now. Like, nowadays, guys are all fired up and bouncing off the walls, you know what I mean, for the game.
Yeah.
There's Michael Irvin. He said I was in the dark in this small room. And they kind of forgot about me. He goes, they're like, where's Michael? And they're like, I think he might be passed out in one of those rooms. They're like, you're
you know
really?
What's the best?
They're like, he's asleep. And he was stone cold asleep. They had to shake him. They're like, Mike, the Super Bowl's starting, bro. Let's go.
If it wasn't Michael Irvin, they never would have found the player, right? There's a couple of guys, if it was Emmett, you know what I mean, Troy. But if it was the backup right guard, that guy sleeps through the Super Bowl. It is what it is. He wakes up at halftime. What?
It's like
what's going on
it's like
here?
the kicker on the Bengals that stayed out on the field to watch the halftime show. Right? A couple of years ago, he wanted to watch Snoop, Eminem, and everybody. So and they asked the coach after. They were like, were you cool with, we were surprised to see, your kicker out there during halftime. And he said, what?
Mm-hmm.
He had no idea. The coach of the Bengals said, I didn't know. He goes, what? He was what? And I said, he watched the halftime show from he never went in the locker room. He watched the halftime show. And he goes, I didn't know that. So you were bang on, Kevin. Coach didn't notice the kicker wasn't in the locker room. You know what I mean? It's I don't know.
Hey, Ev, keep kicking, right? That is the thing they always say. It's the one position where your coach really can't tell you anything. Zach Taylor knows more about kicking than Evan McPherson, not even a little bit. There's no
they never talk to each other either. I actually asked a player about that. I said, why do you guys miss extra points so much? And he goes, because you got to do it quickly. And he goes, we don't practice this. And he basically, I was told, he goes, kickers are kind of by themselves in NFL practices. No one talks to them. They're just kind of hanging out on their own end there. They don't do as many drills as people think, in these moments. When a kicker's running out and stuff and everyone's got to time it.
Right.
A lot of it's we've only done this twice, type thing.
Mm-hmm. It's just them and the punter, right? And I guess the backup quarterback.
They're doing their own games over there. Nobody cares. They're just punting balls in the air. Nobody pays attention, right?
Since we're doing baseball now, I know we'll do the picks at the end of the show, but Gabe, I imagine no hesitation for you on the Dodgers tonight, just to bring this thing full circle.
None. I'm glad you brought it up. My boy Robleski's on the hill here tonight. Always great value with Robleski. There just is. I mean, people look at him and think, I don't know, he's one of these bullpen guys, or he's just this kid was a big-time blue chip, man. He got hit by a freaking car, all right? The Dodgers knew this guy's good. Get him. And he started 8 games this year, Kevin. The Dodgers are 7-1 in his 8 starts.
I cannot figure out if the number
I like the under
Henderson's
8.5
good.
in this game. He is pretty good, this Henderson kid. He is pretty good.
Yeah. Not a ton of starts for Henderson this year. The number, it jumps off the page.
5 runs in 16 innings, though. He's got electric stuff. He's a good young pitcher.
We'll see how the Dodgers look after a Padres series, though. Obviously, that had a lot of intensity to it. We'll get to the playoffs next.
Now we have to endure months of manufactured rumors about will he or won't he retire LeBron James. They are probably, Donnie, working on the Decision 2.0 for Amazon Prime as we speak. Is Jim Gray still around? But here is the beauty of the predictive markets. They make insufferable stories about insufferable people highly profitable.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, you know, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Mattingly is doing a great job, clearly, right? They're 16-4 since he took over, but we have to remember when Rob Thompson took over for the Phillies and they went 65-46 back in 2022, he finished 5th in NL Manager of the Year that year. So could Mattingly win it? Of course, but he doesn't really have history on his side. I'm still on Don Kelly 15-1 to win Manager of the Year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, back at the right here on SportsGrid. It is Game Time Decisions. We've talked a little NBA. We've talked a little NHL. But I do think it's a question that the hockey playoffs has really thrown my way. And I'm curious where it'll land for Gabe. Because I kind of know where he was at before each series, but with the upsets for both Carolina and Colorado, I'm wondering how it changes things and how those games look. So, Gabe, Carolina right now is minus 125 to win the series against Montreal on one book. It'll vary. And Colorado is minus 118 to win the series against Vegas. Who do you think is in more trouble, Carolina or Colorado, after seeing a game of these series?
I think the better value bet right now would be to not give up on the Colorado Avalanche just yet. Right? The Carolina Hurricanes are 1-17 in their last 18 Eastern Conference games. And, you know, in hockey, it comes down to a super hot goalie, and Dobich is super hot for the Canadians right now. You can't, dispute the Canadians have something going on. This team is just rolling right now. And Carolina's been a great regular season team and fallen short in this spot time and time again. The thing with the Canadians and the Canes, the problem for the Canes quickly is the Tampa Bay Lightning and both the Buffalo Sabres can kind of play physical hockey, right? The Lightning kind of played sort of old school, dirty playoff hockey. The Sabres are very big dudes who hit the Canadians a lot. Carolina aren't very big. Carolina, Kevin, are arguably you have the Oilers and McDavid and Draisaitl, but the Canadians are super skilled, bro. They literally have 5-6 guys that are real offensive-minded, really good players. And last night they skated circles around Carolina because no one hit them. So suddenly the top line and all the star players on the Canadians that didn't really do much, Kevin, in the first two rounds, lit it up last night. Looked like a regular season game to them because Carolina didn't get in their face. But now you got Colorado tonight. I like the Avs tonight, Kevin, to bounce back. Vegas, and it's almost subconscious. We see this in these sports. No one's going to admit it, but Vegas did their job. They already got the win there. You know what I'm saying? So Vegas got the win. Colorado, without Cale Makar, their second best player, along with, with Nate McKinnon, etc. But they're super deep, Colorado. And I like what the coach said, Bednar said about the Colorado coach about the game and his team. They said, Cale Makar, and he basically said, Cale Makar isn't walking through the door for game 2. He didn't say, we'll see if he's playing. And he basically said, whether Kale is here or not is irrelevant. And he said, that's like, we don't count on one player. I don't want to hear this about, like, you know, he kind of got mad at the media. Like, enough talking about, like, Kale McCarr isn't there. And he's right. They still have, Kevin, like 6 or 7 or 8 all-stars, right? So, like, yeah, McCarr. I really do think Colorado bounces back. So, all that being stated, I think Carolina are in bigger trouble than Colorado are.
Yeah, I think the thing for Colorado is we know the West is good, right? So when Minnesota wins a game, when Vegas wins a game, you're like, no, those are okay hockey teams, guys. In the same way, when San Antonio beat Oklahoma City, we weren't like, oh, OKC's dead. This series is over, right? That's my read, at least.
Yeah,
on
but
the
you know what,
situation.
though? You know what, though, actually, Kevin? It's this year's the opposite. The Eastern, the West is good, but the Eastern Conference was really good this year. So, like, yeah, Colorado had the number 1 record in the National Hockey League in the regular season. That's another thing that's a big negative for them. It's called the President's President's Trophy. The last time a team with the best record in the regular season won the Stanley Cup was the Chicago Blackhawks. Just for the record, like, so people are thinking, when did the Blackhawks win? Right? I don't know, like 14 years ago? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
The team with the best record in the NHL, it's a curse. It's called the President's Trophy curse. Like, for whatever reason. Last year, the Winnipeg Jets were the best team in the regular season. They got bounced in the second round. Like, it's just, it's inevitable. I don't know what it is. And also, I've talked about it, guys, with Colorado. Like, yeah, they're really good, and people, like, sort of anoint them all the time, but they've only won 1 cup. They won in 2022. All right, you won 4 years ago. Right? So it's not like you're some dominant force that, like basically Colorado choke a lot in the playoffs. I'll call it out for what it is. They do choke a lot in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to choke in this series against Vegas, but I didn't think it was going to be an easy series, Kevin. This series is going to go 6, 7, at least 6, 7 games, 6 games at least. But I do think the Avs are the play tonight. I'm betting the Avs. So I'm not just saying, I think they're the play. I'm betting it.
Yeah, I laid the puck line with Colorado. I mean, they've not really lost much in this postseason. I believe it's only the second time they bounced back quite strongly. You also just don't see the thing with Colorado is they're so good offensively. They also, I think, gave up the fewest goals in the regular season, right? So defensively, I would expect them to be much better in this game, Gabe, just from what we've seen from them again in this postseason, right? When they give up 4 goals, the next game they give up 2 or fewer. That's been pretty consistent here so far.
That's their weakness. They give up too many goals. Like, let's just call it, their goalies aren't great. They're okay. They give up too many scoring chances because they play an offensive style. But with that being stated, it was a close game the other day. Look, guys, it was 0-0 after the first period. Right? It wasn't like Vegas blew Colorado out. It was 0-0. Vegas scored 2 quick goals in the second period. Next thing you know, it was 2-1, 2-0. And then, the 4-2 was kind of weird. There was, the late goals and stuff, and the net was empty and all that. So how it played out was kind of a weird sequence. Like Nate McKinnon said. He said, it was a close game. The breaks didn't go our way. Like, I think fans and media panic a lot more. Like you talked about the Spurs and the OKC players. They're fine. Yeah. Right? Fans and everybody, oh my God, like we all do it. In the playoffs, you win a game, you think you're going to win the championship. You lose a game, you think the series is over. We're screwed. It's over. Right? Like, you lose 2 in a row, and it's like, oh, my God, like, it's done, right? But I tell you right now, everybody, Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow night, you know who I'm going to be on.
You've only got a handful more games to give this Cleveland team your best. I will say, because I do think you fully expect them to be done in this round now. Do you inherit the last remaining Eastern Conference team and find yourself betting on the Knicks in the NBA Finals? Or you go, no, this Knicks team's no good.
No.
I think what works out perfect for you is Spurs Knicks, and you'll bet San Antonio, I think, pretty aggressively in the NBA Finals.
I have left money on the table with the Knicks. I can't dispute it. And I'm not a Knick hater either. I don't like their media and some of the stuff, but like I'm not a Knick hater, but I've left.
Now we have to endure months of manufactured rumors about will he or won't he retire LeBron James. They are probably, Donnie, working on the Decision 2.0 for Amazon Prime as we speak. Is Jim Gray still around? But here is the beauty of the predictive markets. They make insufferable stories about insufferable people highly profitable.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, you know, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Great job, clearly, right? They're 16-4 since he took over, but we have to remember when Rob Thompson took over for the Phillies and they went 65-46 back in 2022, he finished in NL Manager of the Year that year. So could Mattingly win it? Of course, but he doesn't really have history on his side. I'm still on Don Kelly 15-1 to win Manager of the Year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75-plus wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, guys, game time decisions. Quick reminder, if you're just tuning in, Gabe and I will see you on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be called in-game live. It's us, all right? It's not different. It's a little different. It's not really different, right? It's different in that the 7 o'clock games will have started, right? It's different in, though, that we'll be able to rip alive better, too, maybe, on some of this action as well. It'll be myself. It'll be Gabe right here on SportsGrid, 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. We will see you then. That will likely, though, sometimes, Gabe, not allow us to get involved with the WNBA slate before some of it tips. And yesterday I was like, God, you know what, man? These numbers are inflated from the tempo. Sparks, Mercury, under. Whoops. Terrible bet. And then I'm like, all right, I see the Valkyries looking good. I'm like, dogs are coming in. Gabe's tempo's going to hook them out. Whoops. I guess, every dog has its day. They got smoked by Minnesota, Gabe. So now we got 3 games tonight. You betting any of these?
No, you know what the W stood for last night? Wipeout. And of all nights, I went big. I even told you last night. Remember, I think off the air, I told Kevin, I went big tonight in the WNBA. And, it was just one of those nights. Kiki Rice over 11.5. She gets to 11. Marina Mabry kills it most of the time. Every 2-3 games, she has one of these 0 for 7s from 3.
Gabe, I haven't
up to the
pulled up
tempo
this
last night.
score until this second. Gabe, I don't even believe what my eyes are seeing. I don't even believe. Brittany Sykes and Marina Mabry entered that game averaging about a combined 50 a night. They got to 9 combined.
You know what, too? They pulled them. And they actually that's enough. They're like, that's enough. In the fourth quarter. And I'm sitting on a Kiki Rice over 11.5, Kevin, and they're down 25. And I'm like, she's a rookie. She needs minutes. Leave her in. That was my thing. She needs minutes, right? Leave her in. And
Gambler.
they pulled her.
Gambler.
I was like, this is one of these nights. And then Kevin had just rolled into Kelsey Plum. Over 20.5 with Kelsey. Drops 14 in the first half. I'm like, oh, great. Finishes with 16. How, Kelsey? How? Of course, Kevin. She became, you and I talked about her shooting all the time. She had 9 assists or something last night. I was like, you're just passing the ball tonight, huh? You're passing the ball.
Gabe, I was. Listen, the live total for that game
I was like,
was
Oh, no, I don't want to talk about this.
I was like,
I bet it and I lost. I bet an in-game over 197.5. I bet it over 197.5, and then in the fourth quarter, the Mercury quit. Yeah. So I looked at the WNBA tonight. I was like, I sort of just muttered to myself and moved on.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of other stuff.
I have one pick in that. It's kind of something I did last night. I'll get to in a second here. But, Gabe,
why don't you run playing tonight? I assume she is, right?
It looks like she is, but the line's down to 4.5. Valkyrie's on the second leg of a back-to-back. Game's a little weird for me. I'm not touching that one.
All right, so guys, tonight all these games are weird, kind of. I'd say the hockey game is sort of the one. I'd be like, yeah, lock in a hockey game, because this, the NBA, no one knows anything as far as who's playing, who's not, and stuff. But give me the San Antonio Spurs on their home court tonight. Wemby's going to go off, so I'm also going to throw this just out here. It's not on the screen, but give me Wembanyama over 14.5 rebounds, and I think his point prop is 24.5 tonight. He's going off tonight. He's going to be in a bad mood. Wemby doesn't like to lose. He's going to light it up tonight. Give me the Spurs on the money line. Give me the Colorado Avalanche to win this game. Give me the Blue Jays. I don't bet the Blue Jays too much this year, but I feel it's a Blue Jays spot tonight with Gossman on the hill. Give me the Blue Jays minus 152. Give me my Dodgers, Wrobleski, minus 105. Bruku and Dodgers. Here's an under for you, Kevin. Baseball under 8.5.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get to 9 runs in this game tonight. And I didn't want to be confusing because there's a Seattle Storm playing tonight and the Orlando Storm playing tonight, but give me the Orlando Storm in the UFL, 8 o'clock on Fox tonight. Friday night game of the week.
We love that little UFL action here. Guys, Chet Holmgren, 21.5. Chet Holmgren, 21.5. Chet Holmgren, 21.5.
Oh, he's playing blackjack with Chet tonight.
Here. Listen, I need him to go over. I like this spot a lot. Hartenstein foul trouble, no J-Dub, gut check time here. I think Chet steps up. I think the Avs roll off of a loss at home, plus 146 on that puck line. I like the Mariners a lot with Logan Gilbert getting the baseball on the road against Kansas City. And then we did it last night. Knicks money line, Cat double-double. Dream money line, Angel Reese double-double, minus 105. Reese is in a bounce-back spot. Didn't have 10 points or rebounds last game. Crew picks on the way out. What do we got here, fellas? Juan Soto, 2+ hit run RBI. Natitude, the over for Yarnelli with that game against the Braves. And then the Giants on the money line. Late night against the White Sox, Gabe. The White Sox, road favorites, Gabe.
Now we've seen it all.
No better reason to fire that coach.
It's a new Pope. He's a White Sox fan.
Hey there, it's your buddy Craig Carton. If you're trying to find out how to get all the great content that me and Tyrone Johnson give you every single day, here's Tyrone to tell you how.
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, Amazon Music as well. We're at all 4.
That's right. It's the Craig Carton Show podcast every weekday morning live at 11, replayed at noon on YouTube and on SportsGrid throughout the country. Check it out.
They're trading right now currently at 74 wins on the season, which means the Kalshi marketplace goes by 5-win intervals. 75+ wins for those Houston Astros. That's a 49% contract to the yes, which a $100 investment pays back $205, Greg. I'm not high on this team. Look, again, 75 wins for the Astros is terrible, but this team might not even look the same as where we stand today by the time we get to that deadline.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You can recruit super young talent that may go in the NBA. You can recruit older guys and have them grow up together. But if you want players to stay, either sign them to contracts or treat them well enough where they're going to stay. To me, it's pretty simple. And, a lot of coaches last year had good years and they left skid marks on their schools and nobody said a word.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Go over the summer where there's drastic changes and gas drops down to $3 a gallon, $2.50 a gallon in some states, and then you have some of the price markets go down. You ride that momentum is what Joe's talking about. So if you say right now, which party will win the U.S. House, and you think it's the Republicans currently trading at 20%, you take them now, and if good press comes, that turns into 25% and 30%, then you have the option to cash out.
Prediction Markets Edge only on SportsGrid.
Holiday weekend edition of Prediction